When we work with our staff and we work with our clients and so on, quite often one of the things that people get frightened about is this concept of change. Now we know the world's going to change, and there's a great phrase that I learnt that says people don't hate change, they hate being changed. I'll say that again, people don't hate change, they hate being changed. When we embrace change, when we chase change, when we go after it ourselves, it's a lot less scary than if it's imposed upon us. But if you do want to drive some change through your business, I think there's a really great model that we can show you today from a psychologist called David Rock, and it's called the SCARF model. So basically it looks like this, that an event happens, and in that moment of an event happening, you decide whether that's positive or negative. If you see it as negative, and let's just say it's change, if you see it as negative and consequently there's a threat to it, to the person, people will move away from that. We move away from pain and uncertainty. If we were though looking at it and going, hang on, this change that's going on in my business is actually really good, then we would see it as positive, and that there is a reward in it. And if that's the case, we would move towards that event. Interestingly, 3 arrows to 1. The move away from pain and discomfort is far greater than the move towards positive or reward. And when we're working with driving change through our business with our teams, it's really important to think about this. Will that change make the person's make their energy negative, neutral, or up? If I'm trying to drive change through my business, I think that I want to be able to have it at least neutral and possibly even up. And David Rock, when he talks about driving anything through your business, gives us this concept called the SCARF model. Now it's an acronym, but a really important one if you're trying to push some change through. The first one is status. Interestingly, if you attack somebody's status, they are not going to want to go on the journey with you. If you put them down, if you demote them, if you take all their power away, then they won't want to be on it. If you can at least keep it neutral, or maybe even lift the status of the team and the individuals within that team, then they're more likely to want to join you on the journey. Certainly the next one is exactly that, certainty. If I can tell the team what's going on, these are the steps that we'll be following on this. This is where we are now. This is where we'll end up. These are the likely problems that we're going to have to fix on the way. And there's a bit of a roadmap or a path. Then people again will go, oh, I get it. I understand it. I'm with you on that. The third one is autonomy. If you can give some people some choice about things, now you don't have to give them the whole lot. But let's just say that ASIC has sent through a new directive and we have to follow this. Well, we don't have any choice about it. We could either run from it, or we could actually go, well, what choices have we got and how can we drive that through our business, and how can we make that so that this is actually an advantage to us, or it's an opportunity for us to grow as a team and as a business. People will work with you on change if you give them some choice and give them some things to do and allow them to have some of the power. The next one is relatedness. One of the worst feelings in the world when change is happening is isolation and being left alone. However, if I feel like I'm going through this change and my team are with me and we're supporting each other through, we have a right number of meetings, we've got a little bit of humour so we can actually see above it and see it in perspective and understand that it's not life and death, it's just a little bit of change going through. And if we can share that, then consequently people are going to start to move it. And the last one, really important, is this one called fairness. If people don't feel as though it's fair, they won't come on the journey with you. If they feel like they're getting a fair go, if you play favourites, they'll probably run. If you are able to sit there and be absolutely and totally equitable with all of the decisions that are being made, people are likely to come on. So when you start to push change through your business, start to think about this. Work on energy, because it's all about energy. See if we can get some positive reward going. And just understand this, that when I get into this space, the chemical that's released in the brain is cortisol. And cortisol is a blocker, right? It stops us from moving on. However, if we can release some serotonin, then what happens is that we get that sense of it's going to be okay. Hope and optimism start to move through. So, great model for driving change through your business.